Welcome to the Webby O'Neill channel. Jamie Carragher, thanks for inviting us to your home.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the show. You're not going to keep shouting like that at me, though, are you?
No, it's just the way I feel like being in the enemy territory. But I'll calm down in a minute. Webby.
The first question is obviously watch Monday Night Football regularly. I watch it more than the match. I look forward to it. Great bit of work what you said on Ole. You know, as a United fan, we want him to succeed. You know, like whoever's managing us. But if he's not the man, obviously I know what you said and you were spot on. If he's not the man to lead Manchester United, then who is? Who do you reckon the man is?
If it was me, I'd be looking at Pochettino. I know he's in Paris Saint-Germain, but I don't think that'll last long. If I was a Pochettino, I'd be wanting to be out of there in the summer. I think it's a difficult club to manage with all the stars, and I don't think you can ever be yourself. You're almost just trying to keep people happy at PSG. And listen, people may argue he hasn't won the biggest trophies, and that's what you need a manager to do. So has he won more than Ole? I just think the job he did at Spurs, bringing young players through. So one, you want the football to be good at United. You always bring young players through, and he's managed some of the biggest stars in Paris Saint-Germain. He'll get some trophies because every PSG manager does on his CV. But I think he'd be a better fit for United than, say, a Conte, who was a serial winner, who I just think would maybe cause a bit of trouble in terms of more like a Jose type figure where he might win, he might not, because the competition's strong in the Premier League, but you know within 2 years it'll be over because there'll be that much trouble caused behind the scenes, and I don't think United want that again.
Pochettino's achieved nothing. I don't rate him, right? Because he's there as a yes man at PSG. That's how I see it, Jamie. Solskjaer is getting criticised because he's having to put a round hole in a square peg. That's the problem I see. He may get something this year. He may not. But Pochettino, as an alternative, this is the biggest club in the world.
Okay, well, when Pochettino was manager of Spurs...
You mentioned Conte.
Okay, when Pochettino was manager of Spurs, every season he finished above the biggest club in the world, who had loads more money, with Jose Mourinho. So every season he finished above Man United, who were, as you've just said...
Under Mourinho.
Who is a serial winner. He was an absolute serial winner who's won everything.
Who for Spurs,
so Spurs are nowhere near one of the biggest clubs in the world. They are a level below the biggest clubs in the world, let's shall we say. Tottenham haven't challenged for a league title, I would say, for about, I can't even remember in my lifetime. They did that under Pochettino. Tottenham getting to a Champions League final is like Man United winning the treble in '99. That's like...
Yeah,
Tottenham aren't a club who win things. So Pochettino, you can't criticise him for going to Spurs, a club who don't win nothing for years.
I'm not criticising him.
No, but what I'm saying is he can only do the job he did. Now, don't get me wrong. At times, I don't know if it's a mentality of Spurs, but when they come to the big moments, they always drop. Now, sometimes I don't know if could that be the manager? Could be that just the mentality of the club? Really. But what I'm saying is, I just think he ticks boxes that you'd want a Man United manager to have in terms of how he plays, fast, energetic, exciting football. You saw it at Spurs. Bringing young, what he did with Harry Kane, what he did with Dele Alli. So that's the Man United thing of getting young players. And just, to be honest, I don't see many others out there. Now, Conte again, I just don't see that as being there. I just think that's another Mourinho. You may win, you may not, trophies. Mourinho won a couple of trophies for you. But it always feels like a fight with me with Conte. So what happened to Chelsea? He's just won the league against Milan. He's left there. There's always an angst about it. Listen, maybe I'm wrong. He might come in and you know, he's been successful everywhere he's been. So you may go for him. But I do think there is a date at this moment of like a managers who you say, if you got rid of Ole tomorrow, I'd go and get him. I don't think there's anyone out there where Tuchel was available. Klopp was available when obviously Brendan Rodgers lost his job. So I wouldn't be thinking about change Ole now. Who would you get? But I'd be thinking if this season doesn't go well for United in the summer, what would I be thinking? And I think if Man United were to change, I think I'd go for Pochettino.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk regarding Pochettino when he left Spurs to go on garden leave, and he could have took a job elsewhere, and you seen him on holiday. He was enjoying life. You had him on Monday Night Football we used. And then obviously the Paris Saint-Germain come within a day, it was done. I like him personally. I think he could bring United on. But there was a talk he was going to get the sack last year at Paris Saint-Germain where by rights Germany should win the league in January there. Yeah. And they lost the league, was it to Lille or someone?
Yeah.
And he started well this year. Obviously, they beat City, he's the top of the league, which he should be. But I also feel about, I got shouted down after we was talking about managing, Conte's name going to come up. But I like Mancini. You know, people say, well, he used to manage City, but if the deal's right, I know he's the Italian manager, and the job he's done with Italy, we've seen that in the summer. What's your take on Mancini?
I think I really like Mancini as a manager. I think that'd be difficult to do Man City, Man United. I do. We've seen it in our City this season with Rafa going to Everton. But Mancini's another manager. That's the thing. I mean, that's why I think Liverpool and City are so lucky now with the managers that they've got, because we know they're great managers, but they're also almost great ambassadors for the clubs in some ways. Now, you might not like them if you're a rival fan, but I think Mancini and Conte are the type of managers, even when Mancini was at City, even though he's winning things, it always felt like something was just going to blow up at any time. The dressing room, off the pitch, what he was saying in the press. Now, listen, when you're desperate to win, that's what you were desperate when you brought Mourinho. Mourinho wasn't a Man United manager. We all knew that. But it was like, we're desperate to win. We need to win. We need to get back to Ferguson's winning ways. So you're almost put aside your club values a little bit in terms of the football we play, bringing young players through because we want to win. But there's no guarantee that you will win. And I just think those managers might be a little bit like that.
Where do you see the United squad compared to Liverpool, City and Chelsea? We believe Solskjaer's got the tools, but this squad, compared to them three, are they good enough?
Well, I think Man United have got a better squad than Liverpool. I do believe that in terms of
you shocked me with that comment.
Well, I've said that for a couple of years, actually. I think when you look at the benches, I always go off the bench. When you talk about the squad, it's not normal. You don't normally look at the team. Liverpool, I feel, have got a better team than Man United. But when I look at Man United's bench and I look at our bench at times, I think Klopp, to be fair, likes a small squad. He doesn't want a lot of people who maybe don't play and is not happy. That's maybe the way he manages. But in terms of when I look at your bench is as strong as anyone's. City's, or maybe City have got the edge with the squad over everybody. But I think Man United have got a really good squad. And that's maybe why I'm being a little bit more critical this season of United and maybe the managers. I think I've gone on record as saying I think if Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp was manager of Man United, I think he'd have a great chance of winning the league.
I watched you and Gary pick a combined 11. But you've only picked, really, Greenwood as a player to go in your combined 11 as a number 9. And when you talk about the bench and you've only picked one player out of 11. So how does that fit in? Because we've got Ronaldo, but you even picked Greenwood before Ronaldo.
Well, the reason I picked him was because it was my team was 9 players, Liverpool. So in my head, this is the Liverpool team with a couple of United players coming in. So I'm thinking almost the way Liverpool play, if you like. And I think if Klopp was a manager, I'm not quite sure he would have Ronaldo. I think he's had players before because Ronaldo 4 or 5 years ago, every man and his dog would have Ronaldo, of course. And even most people would have now. But I'm just thinking, a Jurgen Klopp, he doesn't want that just guy who just scores and maybe doesn't do anything else in the game. I thought Ronaldo did a lot more in the game against Atalanta. You've seen him getting back towards the end. But that's sort of Klopp's style. So I was almost looking at it as if, well, this is the Liverpool team with a couple of United players coming into it, really. But that's what I said. The reason I picked those Liverpool players, 9 of them, was because I do think Liverpool have got a better team than United. But when I see what you've got on the bench, you've got Van De Beek, right, who's never kicked a ball for you, who got to a Champions League semi-final for Ajax. No one knows how good he is.
What's your take on him, Jamie? Because we've seen him play.
What? I wouldn't be that critical of Ole about that. I mean, they've signed him. They watch him every day in training. And you know what? Maybe he's just not that good.
That's what what it could boil down to.
If he's turning up in training, he's not. The amount he's being used is because they just think the other players are better. And sometimes, in a training ground, you train with these players every day. Maybe he's just a decent player and maybe not good enough for United. But what I'm saying is, when Ronaldo, you've got Sancho, who's probably not a regular, a £75 million player from Germany.
I think he's been doing better the last couple of games.
He's been doing better. I feel a bit sorry for him. I think, as I mentioned on Monday Night Football, I think that the signing of Ronaldo's had a knock-on effect in terms of Pogba's position, having to go centre midfield. And I think Sancho was, before Ronaldo come, I think Sancho was maybe earmarked for that sort of right wing, and you can put Greenwood up front for a little bit, Cavani for a bit. You didn't have a proper centre forward before Ronaldo. Martial, he'd play some games, Cavani, Rashford, so everyone could almost get the games, but Ronaldo's such a quality player and such a fixed position where you've got to play him centre forward now, and he's Cristiano Ronaldo, you can't leave him out. So then so how do you get Greenwood in? So he's got to play on the right, Rashford on the left. And I just think Sancho's could almost just get lost a little bit. And he's just trying to find his feet. It's early days. I've still yet to really see anything that stands out. I'm not talking about since he's come to United. I mean, even for England, really. I didn't watch that much of Dortmund. I've seen a few highlights. So he's still got a little bit to prove, of course. But he's young. But it was a big price tag. And I just think with that many players there now, it's going to be difficult for them to get a real run of games because of the quality that you've got in the attack.
Solskjaer has reorganised from the bottom upwards. He's now got the tools. Are you saying he's got to win something this year? And if he's got to win something this year, what is it he's got to win, Jamie?
If you go back to Ferguson's time, and when he won the FA Cup, it was like he had to win something. He won the FA Cup. But the FA Cup then was like, it was almost like the league. It was just a little bit below winning the league.
Well, it's really what we was growing up on.
Yeah. You know, you obviously won that with Ron Atkinson a couple of times in those early 80s. But I don't think, certainly foreign ownership now, I don't think winning the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, I wouldn't say it doesn't mean that lot. I mean, for me, winning trophies is more important than anything. But I've had managers at Liverpool when we had Kenny Dalglish, and he won a trophy and lost his job. I think if you go through it now, it's all about top four. Now, I still expect
Van Gaal lost his job after winning the FA Cup at Man United.
Perfect example. So I don't think it's a case of winning things. I don't see Man United winning the league, but they finished second last season. But it's, can they get even closer? Can they be in a title race where if they lost it, it'd be on the last couple of days? So I think if Ole won the FA Cup or finished fourth and was like 20 points behind City or Liverpool or Chelsea, whoever it was who won the league, I think that'd be a bigger problem for him if he didn't win the FA Cup, but he was in fact within 5 or 6 points of the team in the league, because you'd be thinking, okay, we're nearly there. Yeah, I don't think progression is so much a trophy as such now. I think it would have been last season in terms of winning that Europa League. You'd have gone, got that trophy. I think a year on now, I think it's almost, we've got to almost, I don't think any Man United fans expecting United to win the league or win the Champions League. But you don't want to be going out in the group stage. You don't want to be like 15, 20 points when the end of the season, because you'll feel like, well, we can't make that up next season. We might get closer, but there's no way we're going to win the league the following season, because we've got to make up 25 points or 20 points. Whereas if you're 5 or 6 points behind, you go, well, okay, it might be one more signing short, or it might be this team being together for another 12 months. I think it's more about how close you are to the title rather than, say, winning the FA Cup or something.
I think last year when we did go top, as fans and the players, I don't think we believed we were good enough. You know, we sat at the top of the league, we spoke, didn't we? We was upbeat, but I think the players really think, hang on a minute, we're top of the league here. Then, don't get me wrong, City went on that run and fair play to them, you know, they deserve to win the league. But I think we're so far behind the top two, and then you bring in Chelsea into that, and I always look at people going on about Ole, we go back to Ole a minute about him being a club legend, and then I see what Chelsea did. Lampard's a bigger legend, or as big as Ole. He wasn't doing his business. They sacked him. Tuchel come in 6 months later, the European champions. I'm
saying Pochettino. It would be difficult for Pochettino to take on Pep and Klopp. They're that good of managers. They've been there at their clubs longer. So for any manager, Ole especially, it's tough to take on them. The problem is, as you said, what Chelsea did. Because Chelsea and Man United, for the last, say, 2 or 3 years, have been the two teams trying to challenge Liverpool and City. And Chelsea just made a change like that, and it looks like they've left United and joined City and Liverpool. And I think that's probably a criticism, not a criticism of Ole. What I'm saying, that's when you look at it and you think, well, they've done it. As you've just said, well, why can't we?
Obviously, you've analysed Pogba over the last few years, saying he's playing well for France, he's not doing for United. As a Liverpool fan, would you rather have him in our team on Sunday or not in the team?
If he was, I'd be happy if Pogba was playing centre midfield against Liverpool. I'd be happy. If Pogba was playing as one of the 4 attacking players, I'd be like, oh, he can do things, he can cause damage. He can hold the ball, he can play, but he can score, he's powerful, he's big, he can run. But if he was playing centre midfield, I think Liverpool will be able to exploit that. But I don't think he'll play. Come on, score predictions then. Come on, no
Right,
sitting on the fence.
listen.
You're on Monday Night Football now. Come on.
Monday
I'm
Night
asking the
Football.
questions. What would your prediction be for the
My
big game?
prediction is going to be 3-1, Man United, 1-1 at half-time, and I can't see it being anything different. I actually believe Liverpool will freeze on the day.
Webby?
I normally go for 3-1, but I'm going to change. I'm going to go 2-2. I just think that, you know, in the present time, the way both teams are playing, you know, and I'm not going to play. Liverpool are playing well. You don't have to see that on the TV, and you've probably got the best player in the world at the moment. So I'm going to go 2-2. I'll be happy with that.
I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. Liverpool will score. Man United haven't kept a clean sheet at home for, I don't know, since about 77.
Probably earlier. We're taking the cities home with us, so thanks very much for the offer, and that well needed. Yeah. Jamie,
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure.